Welcome back to Crux Stationalis, the Roman Station Church Network. Today we head to the Roman Station Church for the Monday of the 5th week of Lent, La Basilica di San Chrysogono, the Basilica of Saint Chrysogonus. The present church structure is from the 12th century, but in this church, you're able to go into the scavi and encounter a 4th century complex. The church is under the care of the Trinitarians, and so we find two unique devotions here, that of devotion to Jesus the Nazarene, as well as Blessed Anna Maria Taigi, whom we will hear of more when we encounter her incorruptible remains. The image of Jesus of Nazareth, the Holy Redeemer, ransomed by the Trinitarians, reminds us of the work of redemption carried out by the Trinitarian order throughout the centuries. That is, when Spaniards suffered from Muslim persecution, the Trinitarians saved Christians from captivity and slavery. In 1682, the Spanish Trinitarians ransomed and brought back from Morocco a statue of the Holy Redeemer, together with 211 Christian captives. That statue is presently in Madrid and is even affectionately called the King of Madrid. The Trinitarians agreed to ransom the statue by paying to the Sultan its weight in gold. Much to the chagrin of the Sultan, the statue, when it was weighed, miraculously decreased in weight. The Trinitarians rescued the statue because it was suffering abuse and blasphemy. As a sign of rescuing this statue, the Trinitarian scapular was placed over the shoulders of our Lord. So too Christians who had been redeemed from captivity would wear the Trinitarian scapular to signal that they could no longer be taken into slavery by Muslim captors. The statue, which is in Madrid, is carried in procession on Good Friday. It is one of those quintessential Spanish Holy Week processions. The statue in Madrid is also one of the few original miraculous images which survived the 30s, the Republican Revolution in Spain. And so in Rome we find this statue in the chapel to the left of the sanctuary. We see Jesus bound as he was standing before Pontius Pilate, and we recall how much he desires our redemption. Through the sacristy, one is able to enter into the Paleochristian area underneath the church. We will explore the Paleochristian Church in a future video. Departing from the sacristy and turning right, we encounter this side chapel, dedicated to Blessed Anna Maria Taigi, a chapel which was originally dedicated to Our Lady. Blessed Anna Maria was a Sienese domestic servant married to a butler working for the Taigi family. She had 7 children and had to put up with much brutality from her husband during her life as an ordinary Trastevere working-class housewife. Nevertheless, she gained the reputation of great holiness, and churchmen of high rank used to ask her advice. She was buried here in the habit of a tertiary of the Trinitarians after her death in 1837, and she was beatified in 1920. When she died in 1837, it was only a few days before pilgrims started to visit her resting place, despite a cholera epidemic, which some believe she was holding off while alive. It is said of Blessed Anna Maria Taigi that she was a wife, mother, and mystic. She had unfettered access to the Trinity, yet she carried out her duties first as a wife and second as a mother. Only with such priorities in order was she properly able to live her mystical life. The present church interior is the result of the rebuilding in the 1620s. The plan comprises a central nave with 2 aisles separated by 22 Ionic columns. 11 on each side. The capitals are from the 17th century and are in stucco, but the columns themselves are ancient and must have come from a very high-status building. They are a matching set in granite from Egypt, the gray ones being from Mons Claudianus in the eastern desert, and the red ones from Aswan. and these two porphyry columns support the triumphal arch. The high altar itself was dedicated in 1127, as the basilica is from the 12th century. A relic of St. Chrysogonus sits below the altar. The central panel of the ceiling above the altar shows the child Jesus asleep on the lap of Our Lady. It's as though he's about to fall upon the altar of sacrifice, a similar aspect found in many Pietà, Michelangelo's being the famous example at St. Peter's, where our Lord, as he lies in the arms of his mother, appears to cross that boundary onto the top of the altar, emphasizing his incarnational reality and the gift that we are about to receive in the Blessed Sacrament, the Eucharist. The Blessed Sacrament Chapel on the right side of the altar was remodeled by Bernini. The ceiling has a fresco of the Blessed Trinity and Our Lady surrounded by angels. Ecce, ego vobiscum sum omnibus diebus. Behold, I am with you all your days. As stated, the church had one major Baroque restoration in 1620 by Giovanni Battista Soria, funded by Cardinal Scipione Borghese as part of his enormous church building and restoration program. Features of this Baroque restoration include an ornate ceiling and an alteration of the cosmatesque pavement. The complex was taken from the Carmelites by Pope Pius IX in 1847 and given into the care of the Discalced Trinitarians. And so, throughout the church, we see the emblem of a red and blue cross. One is certainly able to recognize that the Trinitarians are very active and very present for those who come to the church. The chapel of the relics is found at the right side near the door. The relic of the cross, which stands on the altar today, is typically found here. And just outside this chapel, we see this altar dedicated to Our Lady with many votive offerings. Thank you for joining us today at Crux Stationalis for the Roman Station Church itinerary for the Monday of the 5th week of Lent. I look forward to seeing you at our next Roman Station Church.